Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're looking at the final single from Ghosts of Atlantis before they release their album 3624 next month. Now when I looked at their last track when they did the third pillar, I said I believed that to be the last release before the album, and turns out I was wrong. Because today, just a couple of hours ago, they released the track Gardens of Athena, which is the penultimate track on the album, comes just before The Lost Compass, which is the final track. So that's what we're going to have a look at today. I do have lyrics here, although I do believe it is a lyric video as well. I've spoken extensively on this band because I've covered them 3 times previously now. So we'll just jump into the track and see what we have. So, Gardens of Athena by Ghosts of Atlantis. Let's have a look. there we go. The Gardens of Athena by Ghosts of Atlantis. And as you can obviously tell, I really love that piece of music, although that shattering moment at the end isn't on the album. I wasn't even expecting that, and my god, that hurt. Anyway, as you can obviously tell, I thought that track was absolutely fantastic. When I first heard it, it was a fantastic track. It is fast, it is heavy, it's an amazing piece of music, and it's a great lead up to the end of the album. Now, there is given the actual story behind this track below the video on YouTube, and it says, Gardens of Athena conveys the tale of the rituals undertaken and the spiritual process to allow the passing of fallen souls. The song depicts the journey to the afterlife, a journey that will guide the fallen warriors through the imposing gates that stand before the Gardens of Athena. This is a place of eternal slumber, beauty and tranquility, the chance to finally reside within the Gardens of Athena. It is here that the ghosts of Atlantis help guide souls to peace on their final journey to Elysium. So there you go. That's the story of this particular track. And I kind of like the way this is done, because every time they do the chorus, those clean vocals, they sort of build up each time. The chorus itself sort of expands and grows each time, and it changes every time, which is something I actually quite like. And it opens with Ascend to Elysium, Raised to Elysium. Now the leaves have fallen under the shadow of dusk, this cold embrace now of winter's lust. We watch the final journey. Sacred rites of those that fell and walked through hell. Elysium awaits. Behind the gates, the ghosts of Atlantis will decide your fate. And then comes the first of that chorus in the clean vocals. When the gardens call your name, when the gardens call, walk on through the storm of winter's tale, the storm of winter's tale. Now there, the first and third line are done in the clean vocals, and the second and fourth line are done in the sort of harsh grouse to sort of mirror the previously stated line. And then it goes, Ascend to Elysium, Raised to Elysium. Now that the ground is frozen, loss tears at the hearts of all. We stand with the chosen ones. Hear the call of Zephyr for your journey now awaits. Martyrs ascend and embrace your fate. Elysium awaits. Behind the gates, the ghosts of Atlantis will decide your fate. And here comes that chorus again. And this time it's extended, and they've altered it ever so slightly. When the gardens call your name, when the gardens call, walk on through the storm of winter's tale, the storm of winter's tale. The goddess, she calls you, where the sun will shine over lands divine, and embers glow at night, embrace twilight. Winter sung its tale as memories fade to dust. We put the bodies in the ground, remember them. We battled far and wide, stood tall against the gods. Now the ghosts of Atlantis watch over all that survive. Athena calls you to the garden as lanterns fly above. Wicker baskets on the river decay in winter's frost. In winter's frost. Athena awaits beyond the gate and welcomes you in arms. The calm of night reveals the light of Elysium. The heavens will embrace the souls and lead them all to peace. Look to the skies as spirits rise to Elysium. And then there's another variation of the chorus that comes again. It says, when the gardens call your name, walk on through the storm of winter's tale. Athena, she calls you to where the roses grow and the wind it blows. We lay them to rest. So, it's a great song, and I love the way that the chorus, as it were, alters each time it's performed. They change it a bit, they build up on it, they extend it a little bit. I really like the way they've done that, and like I said, it's a fast and heavy track. It just sounds great, and like I said, it's a great build up to the final track, which is the Final Compass, which was the second single that they released, because they released the Halls of Lemuria, the Lost Compass, the Third Pillar, and then this one. So, yeah, I think it's a fantastic track. This is definitely the last single they're releasing before the album releases on March 25th. I want to say 25th. I can't remember exactly. I think it's March 25th. Might be 26th. I can't remember exactly. It's somewhere around there. So this is the last single they're going to release. I'm going to put links below to where you can like pre-order the album if you should so desire, or where you can order the album, etc. Obviously, I've heard this track before, since I did a full written review on the album a few months back, not long after they released the third single. But yeah, I love this track. I love this band. I think they are brilliant. I'm really looking forward to when I can hear more material from them. I still want to know what 3624 means. I want to know what the title of the album actually means. It's still really annoying me because I still don't know. But anyway, I can't really say much else on that, so I'll leave it as it is. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so. By all means, you can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you could even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would, of course, be a massive help to me to help me improve this channel, since all content that I create for this channel gets instantly demonetized. I make absolutely nothing from any of these videos, which is a little bit frustrating, but that's just how it is. I mean, I agree that the artist should indeed get credit for their works. I mean, I am using their work in videos that I'm creating, and it's all very well and good that they get credit for their work, but it's just a shame that they take all of it. I don't see anything from any of the work that I do. There is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the queue, should you so desire it. There is a limit on how frequently you can do that. You're restricted to once a month, and that's just to give other people a fair chance. People who suggest tracks through more regular means like Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram comments. And if you do suggest a track through those more regular means, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestions, since I get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list just grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get. So it should get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, MetalHead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main goal is to put an end to hate crimes. And one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people of the alternative culture. And that's something that I believe in very, very strongly, and something that I think definitely needs a lot more recognition than it gets. Because every day, all around the world, people from the alternative culture are getting violently attacked just purely for the fact that they listen to alternative music or wear alternative fashion. And I mean, first of all, that's something that's just always boggled my mind. It's never made sense to me. Why would you attack someone just because of the clothes that they wear and the music they listen to? It doesn't make any sense. But this is a very real problem that sort of just gets ignored and sort of brushed under the carpet because no one cares. And that's something that really needs to change. Because, we're not just talking about names and insults being shouted across the road or getting shoulder rammed as you walk down the street. Now, we're talking about real violent crimes where people are getting brutally attacked and getting hospitalized, sometimes with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries, just because of their taste in music and clothing. And, Nothing ever gets said about this. Nothing ever gets done. The last time there was widespread talk about this was 14 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were brutally and violently attacked by a group of 5 or 6 people who beat them, punched them, knocked them to the ground, and stamped on their heads so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he did thankfully survive the attack. He was in a coma for around about a week, maybe a little bit longer. I can't remember exactly how long. But he did thankfully survive. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and died. This young woman was 20 years old, and she was beaten to death just because of her taste in music, just because of the clothes that she wore. Now, when this happened, this was all over the news, as rightly it should have been. And, as with all things, it was in the news for a couple of weeks, months, however long, but eventually it sort of faded away. But in the 14 years since that's happened, we've not heard anything similar We've never heard a single report of anything else like that happening. But I know for a fact, in the 14 years since that's happened, there have been several hundred, if not several thousand, very similar attacks. And nothing's been said. Nothing's been done. Just a couple of years ago, a young woman in Scotland was running a charity gig. And at one point during the evening, she had to leave the venue and go to her home, which was a 5-minute walk away. In the space of time between her leaving the venue and getting to her home, she was violently attacked twice by the same group of people, and similarly knocked to the ground, beaten, punched, kicked, and violently beaten more. Thankfully, the attack was halted by a passing taxi driver. But he didn't even stop to see if she was okay. He just buggered off. She didn't get any help until she got back to the venue to where her friends were. Now, this happened, like I said, 2 years ago, and I live walking distance from Scotland. I didn't hear a damn thing about this. This wasn't in the news. This wasn't in the newspapers. I didn't hear about this until a friend told me about it. And that friend happened to be a friend with the person who was attacked. Why wasn't this in the news? You know, this young woman was violently and brutally attacked. If that taxi driver hadn't passed when he did, who's to say that she wouldn't have ended up in the same situation as Sophie Lancaster? If that taxi driver hadn't passed when he had, who's to say that this young woman would not have been similarly beaten to death? Then it would have been in the news, and that's unacceptable. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to die before this gets spoken about. We shouldn't have to wait until someone loses their life before something gets done. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to raise more awareness of the fact that this sort of thing is happening and that it is a very real problem. I mean, this has been going on for decades. This has been going on for longer than I've even been alive. You know, this isn't anything new. But no one cares. Everybody's just sort of brushing it aside and ignoring it like it's not a big deal. And it is a big deal. Because it's only a matter of time before what happened to Sophie Lancaster happens again, and we most certainly cannot allow that to happen. It's something that should never have happened in the first place, but we most certainly cannot allow it to happen again. And Sophie Lancaster isn't the first person to be murdered because of her taste in music. This sort of thing has to stop. It has, something has to be done. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their overall goal is, because they can explain it a hell of a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously you don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it be a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, or maybe even one of these ones, they've got a whole bunch of other really cool stuff over there if you want to go and have a look. But the smallest amount can make the biggest difference, and the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we put more action into stopping this from happening, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.